You have theoretically deconstructed the physical hologram. You have psychologically severed your emotional attachment to the dead echoes of your past consciousness. Now, we enter the laboratory of the mind. This is where you actively rewrite the source code of your immediate future. This is not a passive meditation. This is an aggressive, calculated operation to hack the three-dimensional matrix by utilizing the supreme technology of your four-dimensional imagination. We are going to break this down into 5 distinct, highly precise steps. You must execute them with the cold, mechanical discipline of an absolute master. Step 1 is sensory deprivation, the withdrawal. You cannot tune into a new frequency while your receiver is still jammed with the static of your current environment. You must completely log out of the physical simulation. Find a quiet, dark place where you will remain completely undisturbed. Lie down completely flat on your back, or sit in a highly comfortable chair with your head fully supported. Close your physical eyes. Now, you must systematically shut down every single physical sense. Imagine an industrial noir, gritty collage animation of thick, heavy cables physically detaching from a glowing human brain, plunging the screen into darkness. First, ignore the feeling of the furniture against your physical body. Imagine the boundary between your skin and the chair completely dissolving until you cannot tell where you end and the room begins. Second, ignore the ambient sounds of your environment. Let them fade into a distant, meaningless hum. Third, ignore the light or the darkness behind your physical eyelids. You are actively withdrawing your conscious awareness from the dense, heavy biological spacesuit you wear. You are becoming pure, localized consciousness. If a physical itch arises, completely ignore it. If your body demands to move, completely deny it. You are establishing absolute dominion over the biological vessel. You are starving the physical parasites of your attention. Step 2 is entering the void, the formless state. As you successfully sever the sensory cords, you will begin to feel a profound sense of weightlessness. You are no longer a person. You have no name. You have no history. You have no physical problems. You are floating completely suspended in the infinite, dark, formless void of your own inner mind. Neville Goddard called this the state akin to sleep. In esoteric terms, you have successfully slipped past the rigid, logical mind, the archonic gatekeeper that desperately fights to keep you imprisoned in physical facts. You are now hovering directly in the quantum field of infinite possibility. In this profound darkness, every single potential reality exists simultaneously as an uncollapsed wave function. You are perfectly detached. You feel incredibly relaxed, deeply drowsy, yet your inner, imaginative attention remains razor-sharp and fiercely awake. You have successfully arrived at the precise intersection between the conscious and subconscious mind. You are now holding the incredibly powerful energetic pen that writes physical reality. Step 3 is the implantation of the scene. Do not attempt to visualize an entire movie. A movie allows your mind to wander, and wandering introduces doubt. Instead, you must construct an extremely short, highly specific 5-second imaginary act. This singular act must flawlessly imply that your ultimate desire is already completely fulfilled. It must be an action that takes place after the wish has been materialized. If your desire is massive financial sovereignty, you do not imagine winning the lottery or struggling to pay a debt. You imagine holding a specific bank statement showing a massive, specific balance, or you imagine shaking the warm, solid hand of your financial advisor as they congratulate you on your incredible new portfolio. Keep the scene remarkably simple. Keep it incredibly short. And most importantly, you must be the primary actor in the scene. You are absolutely never watching yourself on a movie screen. You must look directly out of your own imaginary eyes. You must be occupying the state in the first-person singular. Imagine a high-fidelity, Vox-style motion graphic showing a glowing, perfectly looping 5-second film strip locking securely into a large metallic vault within the subconscious mind. Step 4 is sensory immersion, acquiring the tones of reality. This is exactly where you completely overwrite the simulation. You have your 5-second imaginary scene. Now, you must press play. But you do not just watch it. You must physically feel it within the 4-dimensional realm. You must loop this exact 5-second scene over and over and over again without variation. As the scene loops, you must systematically add incredibly vivid, imaginary sensory data. Let us use the handshake example. As you loop the action of shaking hands, feel the exact texture of the other person's skin. Is their hand warm? Is their grip incredibly firm? Force yourself to actually feel the firm pressure in your own imaginary palm. Now, add sound. Hear their specific voice clearly saying, "Congratulations, you did it." Hear the distinct resonance of their voice bouncing off the imaginary walls of the room. Now, add smell. Do you smell the faint scent of coffee in the office? Do you smell expensive cologne? You must continuously loop this short, dynamic action until it takes on the exact same vibrant, undeniable tones of reality as the physical waking world. It must feel so intensely real that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish it from a physical memory. You are aggressively burning this new frequency deeply into the neuroplastic pathways of your brain. You are violently forcing the wave function to collapse exactly according to your supreme will. Step 5 is the explosion and the Sabbath. As you continuously loop this highly sensory, deeply visceral scene, a profound buildup of emotional energy will begin to occur. You are gathering intense, metaphysical momentum. The scene will become easier and easier to render. It will suddenly lock into place, feeling entirely natural and absolutely ordinary. At a specific moment during this looping process, you will experience what Neville referred to as the explosion. It is not necessarily a loud noise. It is a sudden, profound, deeply overwhelming emotional release. It is a massive, energetic sigh of relief. It is the absolute, unshakable internal knowing that it is completely done. The desire will suddenly feel entirely satisfied. The intense hunger you felt for the manifestation will completely vanish, replaced by a deep, quiet, unshakable peace. The moment you feel this profound release, you must immediately stop the looping scene. You must drop it completely. Do not try to force it to continue. The spiritual seed has been successfully planted in the fertile darkness of the subconscious void. You have successfully impregnated reality. Following this explosion, you must seamlessly transition into the Sabbath. The Sabbath is not a day of the week. It is an advanced psychological state of absolute rest. When you open your physical eyes and return your awareness to the dense, three-dimensional hologram, you will look at the same physical room, but you will be completely fundamentally changed. You will look at the physical world with a brand new, quiet arrogance. The brazen impudence has been fully activated. You know with terrifying certainty that what you just experienced in the void is the actual living truth, and the physical room around you is nothing but a temporary dying echo. In the Sabbath, you absolutely do not look for physical signs. You do not check the three-dimensional matrix to see if your inner work was successful. Looking for a physical sign is a direct confession of doubt. It is admitting that you do not truly believe the imagination is the sole creator. You must walk through the physical world completely, resting in the assumption that the invisible machinery of the universe is already rapidly rearranging space, time, and human events to physically objectify your deeply implanted scene. You must practice this entire 5-step protocol every single night, exactly as you drift into physical sleep. Sleep is the natural doorway to the subconscious mind. By taking this incredibly specific, highly sensory scene into the borderland of sleep, you ensure that your subconscious mind stews in the frequency of the wish fulfilled for 8 solid hours. You are essentially leaving a highly classified, incredibly urgent set of instructions for the universal simulation to execute while your physical avatar rests. Furthermore, you can utilize this exact same method during the day. Whenever you find yourself terrified by the aggressive, negative illusions of the three-dimensional hologram, you can simply close your physical eyes, instantly sever the sensory cord. Drop rapidly into the dark mental void and fire off your 5-second scene. It is a devastatingly effective metaphysical weapon against the illusions of the Matrix. You must become incredibly ruthless with your attention. The advanced practitioner absolutely never compromises with physical reality. If the physical facts fiercely contradict your internal scene, you must coldly turn your back on the physical facts. You must completely withdraw your life-giving energy from the unwanted circumstance. Remember, the universe is a profoundly complex mirror. It does not possess the capacity to reject your deeply felt assumptions. It only possesses the capacity to perfectly reflect them back to you in three-dimensional form. By mastering this deep, 5-step advanced methodology, you have effectively stopped begging the mirror to change. You have finally learned how to boldly change the object standing completely in front of the mirror. You have transitioned from a helpless, terrified victim of a delayed holographic projection into the undisputed, sovereign programmer of the entire simulated universe.